Good Friday
Hey,
afternoon. Hey, Victor, how you doing?
always good.
It feels like we've been dry for news, and then all of a sudden this week, there's news everywhere. Or maybe I
Because
was just
summer
closing my
break
eyes.
is over.
It's over now. Is that what it is?
Yes. My suspicion is that whomever had news in August or July had it mainly because, not because it's a good idea to have something released at that period, but kind of, hey, we're going to have other stuff in September, right? Or late August, so let's do it now.
So there's lots. Hi, by the way, my name is Darren. This over here is Victor, and we're the co-host of a podcast called DevOps Paradox that comes out on Wednesdays at 6 a.m. Now, since there is so much news, Eastern, 6 a.m. Eastern, since there is so much news, we're going to do a speed run through a lot of it. All the links are already down in the YouTube description, so you can follow along if you would like. There is something that we want to try live today. Yes, it's going to be completely live. I have played with it to at least be semi-familiar with what I got to do. I did not get this machine set all the way up to so we could start fast. So you're going to see some of the pain, and we're going to do it live. And
Let's do it.
you get 3 guesses of what it's about, and the first 3 don't count. Yes, it's AI related. Let's get into it because I actually have a lot of other things going on today too that I've got to deal with. So, again, not surprisingly, AI episode this week, harnessing AI for smarter development. I don't remember which line this one was here. Let me read the show notes to remember because I haven't listened to it this week, surprisingly. This was actually the second episode after I'd tried things out. And this was like, this has been a while, meaning in AI weeks, or AI time, it's been like 4 weeks, I think, since we recorded this one. Or it's been longer, 6 weeks, I think. So anyway, you're going to see it live today too. So today will be a continuation of this. Again, if you're not playing with AI tooling at all, that's okay. It's your choice. If you're doing it by choice, it's your choice. If you're doing it because you're being told that you aren't allowed to, go home and learn and then find a new job because that's what's going to happen. Anyway, again, podcast Wednesday, 6 a.m. Eastern. Let me get to the comments real quick. What's up from Portugal? Karen, good to see you. How should I reference? Can I call it TL? T? Lindesa?
Lindesa.
Okay, good. A segment on enterprise level AI enabled pipelines. I don't think that exists yet.
I would also need to understand what that person means, right?
So, Linus, just so we don't lose the comments here, go over to the Slack workspace. If you're not a member of the Slack workspace, down in the description is a link off to that. You can sign up and go put this question in the Hub channel and give it some more context. The magic word today, boys and girls, is context.
Exactly.
The magic word for everything now is context.
Think of it this way: if you put that sentence to Cursor or Claude Code, would you get a satisfactory answer?
No.
No.
Okay, here's one thing I really do love about the word context. It actually means what it's always meant. You know how we'll take words and redefine them to where it doesn't mean anything? The context now, in AI terms, still means context that we used in human terms. Gee, we got that one right. Even if we got nothing else right, we're actually able to carry forward a human term into the tech world, and it stayed the same. Here's a big one. There is a Git vulnerability. If you have not patched yet, patch. Wherever you have Git and you're using Git, patch it. That's all we need to say about that. It's a big one. I can't remember what the score was. I believe it was the high 9s. Anything above 8 to me is bad. So, don't quote me on that.
But it's for Git CLI.
Git CLI, yes.
Okay.
Git CLI. Kubernetes 134 came out this week, officially.
Yay.
58 enhancements, 23 now stable, 22 to beta, 13 alpha. Also, deprecations and removals. Joy, joy, happy, happy. Logo, you have naked bears piloting a ship. There we go. Is there anything here? The core of DRA is GA, Dynamic Resource Allocation.
Yeah, that's a big one. That's a big one. And that's one, we actually discussed it quite a lot in an upcoming
Episode, yeah.
podcast episode, yeah.
Yeah. And we couldn't remember the name of it. So we kept on. How do we refer to it? It was the new thing.
The new thing. The new thing that allows you not to avoid restarting pods when you change memory, CPU, what's not.
As long as there's actually space on the host for that pod to resize.
Yeah.
If
So
it
that
gets
means that
moved, yeah.
It's a very useful feature if you're over allocating nodes, right?
Yeah.
So if you have plenty of unused memory and CPU, this will be a great feature.
Cool. Lots of other things. There's a beta for service account tokens for kubelet. Okay, whatever. KYAML. Really?
Okay. Yeah. I don't need another YAML.
I don't need, never mind. I'm not going to go there. Here, let's take a delayed creation.
One that we checked in one of the previous episodes?
No, I don't think we did anything with KYAML. It sounds familiar, but we talked about, there was something else that was K something. Delayed creation of jobs replacement pods. Okay, these are all the stable recovery from volume expansion failure. That's a nice one. It always stinks when disk goes south and you can't actually make it go. Volume attributes class, finer grained structured authentication, request anonymous requests, restrict anonymous requests. Finder. Oh, that's actually pretty nice. Because live health, you want those always to be open, I think, right?
Yeah.
So if you can crank down the other auths there. Anyway, so 134 is officially out. I have not seen it drop from. Now this was on Wednesday. This was Wednesday. I have not seen EKS or GKE come out with their announcements yet, saying that they have it. It's usually a race for those two to see who comes out first.
Yeah.
So it might actually come out even while we're talking here today. So
Which ones did you say? GKE and
EKS.
EKS, exactly.
Those have been the
EKS
two.
Surprisingly, is the fastest lately.
Yeah. It's usually, you're usually right there together. Whereas AKS is what? There was a new version of Kubernetes? What? Wait. Yes. Yeah. They know it. Okay. A couple of CNCF related items. DocumentDB joins the Linux Foundation. Not to be confused with DocumentDB.
Okay.
So
So
AWS, this is not AWS DocumentDB.
Okay.
Even though it looks very similar to AWS DocumentDB. So DocumentDB, released by Microsoft, are fully permissive Postgres-backed open source document database. So it is a document database like AWS's DocumentDB, but this is not that same DocumentDB. Anyway,
because
it's been open source.
why not make it confusing?
Yeah, but anyway, backed by Postgres. So anyway, now it's in, I said CNCF, but it's in the Linux Foundation. I said CNCF by mistake. So anyway, great. Yay. Submitted to, why not? And then the other Linux Foundation is, they are taking over Solo's Agentgateway project. Solo.io is the team behind, what was it? Service Mesh. It was Glue. Glue Gateway was, I was trying to remember Glue. Yeah. So they have now donated that Agentgateway to Linux Foundation.
Nice.
So that's there. Again, links are down in the description. Actually, there's one more. This one is CNCF. Metal3.io becomes an incubating project. Have you heard of this?
Oh, I of course I did. I was sure that it was already in CNCF.
No, it is Metal Cubed is actually how you pronounce it. Metal Cubed, not to be confused with Metal 3.
Okay.
Metal Cubed. Bare metal host management for Kubernetes. Enroll them, provision them, blah, blah, blah. Off you go. So it's a Kubernetes for a Kubernetes, right?
Nice.
It's Kubernetes and managed Kubernetes. Yeah, that's. So it joined it in September 2020. You were right. Project was started by Red Hat and Ericsson, and it went to so it's moved up to incubating from Sandbox.
Okay.
But here's the deal.
Moved up the rank.
5 years to move up a rank.
Yep.
Still pretty good.
Yeah, congrats.
All right. A bit of Kubernetes news from GKE. Remember they said 10 years of GKE? Doesn't seem possible.
Yeah, that makes it, like a year after the first release?
Yeah. So they've changed pricing. Let's see what it says here. We're updating GKE to make sure every customer, blah, blah, blah. In September, we're moving to a single paid tier of GKE that comes with more features and lets you add features as needed. Now, every customer can take advantage of multi-cluster features like fleets, teams, config, and controller policy, all with GKE standard at no additional cost.
Okay, nice. So they're not charging for features, but only compute.
Correct. And now Autopilot is also being made available for every cluster, including existing standard clusters, on an ad hoc or per workload basis.
Very cool.
So this is the drive to zero, I guess. Right? The pricing gets better. Basically, you're getting a little bit better pricing and you're getting better features. Now's the time. Why not? Okay. Docker Desktop. See, I told you we were going to do a speed run today. Docker Desktop. Oh, this was the score I was remembering, 9.3. There was a critical hole in Docker Desktop that let a container break out and take control of the host machine with laughable ease. It's a nice prepositional phrase there. Basically, any container could talk to it without authentication, meaning mounting drives and messing with file systems was only a couple HTTP requests away. This only affected Docker Desktop on Mac and Windows. It did not affect anything on Linux.
And I guess that you need to start running some very shady container in the first place. So container image in the first place.
Yes. But anyway, in case you're running, much like Git earlier, if you're running Docker Desktop locally and you haven't updated yet and you're allowed to update. If your administrators aren't allowing you to update Docker Desktop on your machine, then take this to your administrators.
No, then kind of blame them. Let it happen so that you can blame them for it.
Yeah, but then you'd probably lose Docker.
Huh?
No, nothing.
Yeah. But
You'd lose Docker at that point.
Of being able to blame your colleague for something.
Why are you being so mean today? A new project that was open sourced, Telemetry Harbor. This is fully open sourced. The TLDR is it's Apache 2. This reminds me of what Grafana did with, what was the name of the project? That was the all-in-one stack that you could start up with. It had everything in it. I'm drawing a blank. We had somebody on.
Stack?
No, because it had everything. But this one, to me, is similar to that. So anyway, this is fully open source. And again, like I said, it is Apache 2. So if you're needing an OpenTelemetry stack, this is pretty good. What's included in the, you're getting everything. So a Go Fiber API, okay, great. Better than Python. Who would have thought Go was better than Python? Me. Timescale DB, Redis Queue, Grafana integrations, and background workers. What was the name of that project from Grafana? Because we had a guy on to talk about it.
I'm blank.
Was it
now.
Time Alloy? No, that wasn't it. Alloy?
Alloy? There is a project Alloy, but I don't know whether that's the one he talked about.
I'll look about it. Anyway, here's another one to consider. Telemetry Harbor. Okay, we're going to start easing our way into AI stuff. We're easing our way. We're transitioning a little bit. Claude Code plus OpenTelemetry plus Grafana. A guide to tracking usage and limits. So you would think that Anthropic would give you all of this stuff. Well, they don't.
I mean, it does on their website.
Somewhat. Yes.
And I don't know whether that does the same, just as much, what's or not, but it's not you don't get any.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Statistics.
Not any. Yeah, you do get some, but now you can actually sort of roll your own. So, Grafana Cloud, configure OpenTelemetry, API token, and then configure Claude Code to send telemetry in. Did you even know you could do this?
That's cool. That's very interesting.
I didn't know
I
you
mean,
could do
for
this.
companies, it's not something that a single individual needs or will ever need, but for a company, yeah. Especially once companies start running those things remotely.
And here's the 4 things they track: total API request over time, total token usage, cost estimate per session, and slow requests. So that's pretty good. Anyway,
Very cool. Especially if it works with SDK.
yeah. What's the thing? Built-in OpenTelemetry support in Claude Code, which I didn't even know existed until I saw this.
Yeah, no, I mean, I understand that, but
Yeah.
what I'm trying to say is that, so there is Claude Code, right? But there is
Yes.
Claude without code
Oh,
SDK,
yes. Yeah.
which is a relatively popular SDK companies use to build agents. And then they build agents, and those agents are running somewhere, and then you need to track somehow how much money that is spent. So this suggestion to this, whomever is behind this project, add the SDK to this.
By the way, before we go any further, just for everybody here that's at the front, in case you leave early today, why would you leave? Because we're the most interesting thing on the internet at this point in time on a Friday. This is our last show for a few weeks. We're not going to be back until the last Friday in September is the earliest we would be back. Because I'm actually out, Victor's out in alternating weeks. So it's just, we're not going to be around. So go ahead and fair warning right now. Okay. A couple of people that I'm going to classify as a competitor to your day job. Right?
Okay,
So
go for it.
if you
I love
need to recuse yourself, I'm fine. So System Init, which was written by Adam Jacob, which was the guy behind Chef, I believe. He did Chef.
I think so, yeah.
So basically, they are announcing an AI agent for doing
I'm
infrastructure.
very, very, very curious to see it. It's on top of my pile of things I need to dig into.
So that came out this week. So if you haven't looked at System Init yet, and you're trying to figure out which way do I want to go, and yes, it was Chef. If you're going to go, am I going to do Terraform? Am I going to do Crossplane? Am I going to do what we're getting ready to look at, Pulumi? This needs to be on your stack.
Yep.
Just as a, if you're evaluating, this should be on your evaluation stack. I'm not saying if it's good, bad, or indifferent, but it should be on your evaluation stack.
I haven't tried it yet, but just judging by what is described, they might be the first to do something like this, which is very interesting.
Yep. But the second one is Pulumi is going to be announcing Neo on the 16th of September.
Yes.
So that will be the next big. My words, not theirs. Now I'm starting to see this wave begin, right? This is somebody dropped a rock out, and I'm starting to see just some little pops happen.
It's what they call third wave, right? First wave would be ChatGPT-like solutions. Hey, you can somehow interact with the model, right? And the second wave would be something like Claude Code or Cursor, slightly more specialized models like Anthropic that kind of, hey, we are very generic, but somehow focused on software engineering, right? And now we're starting to see solutions that are more focused, right? With smaller scope, but focused on something. And in case of those two, that's managing resources, right? So it's starting. Very interesting.
Keyword there is starting.
We are not going to get where we need to be with solutions like Claude Code, just to be completely clear, right? I see Claude Code and similar solutions more like a replacement for a terminal, let's say, right? But then Claude Code will be talking with, let's say, Neo, right? Oh, I need infrastructure, something. Hey, there's Neo. Let me talk to that guy and see what he says, right? or what he does. That's where we're going.
Claude Code or any of its cousins,
Cursor,
any of those, you should not be directing them to write HCL for you.
I mean,
today, yes,
yeah,
but not
exactly. I think
not
that
long
in the
term, which is
future,
2 months.
There will be more like orchestrators of specialized agents.
Correct. So anyway, system initiative is there now. Pulumi is coming. That's all we'll say. I don't know what would happen with HashiCorp now that they're officially IBM'd, because I saw their CEO left last week. The HashiCorp CEO, now that they're fully rolled in. What was his name? Dave? I can't remember if the name was Dave. Dave, if it's not Dave, I apologize, Dave. Okay. Anyway, if you're into infrastructure, get ready, because it's getting ready to get very interesting.
And you know, in case of those two, kind of when you try them out, don't judge them as if, hey, this is the solution, right? Judge them more like, hey, this is the first step towards something, right? Is this the first step in the right direction? If it is, then yeah, go for it.
Google and Zed the editor, not Zed the alphabetic letter, push protocol to pry AI agents out of VS Code's clutches. Great headlines register. Well, what this means is, they're introducing a new spec called the Agent Client Protocol, ACP, not MCP, so ACP. So it's from Zed and from Google. So get started with, okay, here we go. Protocol is still under development, but should be complete enough to blow. Okay, anyway, standardizes communication between code editors and coding agents.
Okay. Why not? Yeah.
So this is moving up the stack, I guess, because MCPs are lower level, right? They're more building block, whereas this is the human.
MCPs are more like what the agent uses.
Yeah.
And this is more like how can your editor use an agent.
Right.
So theoretically, you could be, let's say that you're a Vim maintainer.
Mm-hmm.
And you have two options. You can start developing agents for Vim, or you can say, hey, I'm going to implement this specification, and then any agent that implements that specification can be plugged into my editor, right? And that's awesome.
It's what we want, right? That way you can.
Essentially would mean that agent authors don't need to deal with how do I integrate my agent, let's say Copilot. How do I integrate Copilot into VS Code?
Right.
No, you just kind of implement this specification, and then it can work in any editor that also implements it.
This feels very.
That's my interpretation of it.
Yeah, this feels very LSP-like, right?
Yeah.
That's language server protocol. Just in case you know.
Just as with any protocol, you know, initially nobody has really strong interest to implement it. So we'll see.
There's only a couple of libraries, TypeScript and Rust at this point, but we'll see. And supported editors, NeoVim through Code Companion and Zed. And the only supported agent is Gemini today. Thus the Google and Zed. Okay. That was ACP. Okay, there we go. Okay. This is a PR from Ghosty. Ghosty's the terminal from Mitch Hashimoto. Mm-hmm. I said that correct. This is something I had been struggling with a little bit. It's basically just to say it's a common courtesy to disclose if you're using AI in your pull request or whatever you're doing.
Okay.
Right?
Yep.
AI assistants would produce equal or higher quality than any human in a perfect world. Yes. That's not where we live today because it's generating slop. Yes. It's just generating slop faster than I could, personally.
So
here's let me get to the bottom of it, and then you can rail on it. The disclosure is to help maintainers assess how much of the attention was given to a PR. So basically, if I've been putting in PRs recently, like when I first started doing it, I didn't. But all the PRs I'm putting in, if I'm using Claude Code or using something else, I put in assisted with in whatever thing that I did. Yeah, it just makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, exactly why would I hide it? But, I feel that there is a big difference between this PR was done 100% by AI. Like, unassisted AI. I just instructed AI implement this PR and, implement this issue and create a PR. And I went to watch Netflix. The other thing is, hey, this PR was created by me using AI. It might sound like a subtle difference, but I feel it's not, right? Because I use the latter, right? I never have unassisted AI. And in that case, I think it's still me.
I think it's okay for either one of those as long as you say which one you did.
Yeah.
Right? Because
Exactly.
hey, look, I had it off.
Even in that case, I'm still having that created by Claude Code in all the comments, kind of like behave. Yeah.
And then if you go the extra step of, I went to watch Netflix and I came back and checked everything and verified it as a human, then great. Or if it was, I did it with the help of, that's okay too. But just both of them had Claude in it. Anyway, something to think about if you're doing PRs. A quick thing on a vibe coding session. This is a long post. I'm not going to go into it, but it just goes through things. I just put it in here because it looked interesting, and it's a good read. Take your time. This next one, though, Daniel Meisler, back again, third week in a row, I believe. Mm-hmm. This actually came out in July that I had missed, and now I'm going back through all of his blog posts. He's a prolific writer. And you can tell that by the number of prompts that he writes. Remember, this is the guy behind initially doing Fabric and still doing work on it. Building a personal AI infrastructure. If you look at this circle, this is sort of the end thing, but basically he's coming up with a personal AI infrastructure for doing everything in his life, not just coding. Mm-hmm. And guess which tool he's using?
I see like 50.
Well, the core tool he is using is Claude Code.
I would have guessed that. Yeah.
Okay, so let me get down to this is a very long one. You might want to take the link of this and run it through a summarizer for you, just so you can get the gist of it. He's calling his thing Kai. Mm-hmm. File system based context. Remember, context. If you don't understand context, get to understand the word context and what context means. So here is the basic layout. So this is the home. So if you think about it, you have, when you install Claude Code, you get a .claude directory in your home directory, your personal home directory. Mm-hmm. And it may have a bunch of stuff. It may not have anything in it. If you've done a couple of projects, you'll have a projects directory in there. But you'll see agents, you'll see commands potentially. But for him, and there's hooks and other things too, is this context directory. So he adds in this directory called context. And if you go inside of his contract, now he unfortunately does not publish this. I was wanting to be able to see a link to publish it. But if you take a look inside of that, he has a ClaudeMD inside of that. So you have the parent ClaudeMD of whatever it is. I'll show you the stack in a second. And it's architecture and design and development and philosophy and projects and testing and tools and blah, 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 all the stuff. The file system is the context system. So the right amount of context at the right time. Again, you're going to have to read this. There is a lot to this post, but let me show you the main stack here. One of the problems is
how does he load that context data?
And that's what I'm going to show you, because he does show you how to do that. Because what will happen is mandatory context loading. Sometimes it just won't do it, right? In theory, it should walk all your ClaudeMD files. That's the magic with Claude Code. But it doesn't always do that. Or it may see them, but it doesn't actually read them.
Yeah.
So there's layers to this. The first layer is the context system itself. The first context load pointing to this, which explains the entire file system. Then it uses the user prompt submit hook, which then has read this, read this, read this, and whatever. So basically he goes 3 layers deep to read everything. So reinforcing each time, read. Failure to actually load before claiming is lying to the user. Do not lie about loading these files. Actually load them first. Context. This is where you have to treat AI like it's a 2-year-old or a 3-year-old. Tell them everything.
Yes and no, really. It depends, right? The problem is that no matter whether we're talking about single Claude MD or something like this, which I'm guessing what it is. Okay, so that will be at the top of the context when you start the session, all the stuff, right?
Yeah.
And it will be forgotten very quickly.
Yeah.
Right? So this is great, but you need some kind of reminder. Okay, now we're doing testing. Go back and read it again.
Correct. And he gets into that as well. So anyway, this is a long post that I'm just trying to still wrap my head around. So take a look at it. But he talks about how he's used it to, he gave a couple of examples here, and then how to, he sort of starts wrapping up here of the Unix way: solve once, reuse forever.
Yep.
I try to only solve a particular problem once and then turn that solution into a command, a fob, a fabric pattern, whatever. Fob is a phrase that he's using somewhere else that he's going to be talking about, not in this post, but later. Good example of create my custom image. This is a photo image for his blog post, which uses Fabric and OpenAI to create me a custom image using any context I provide. When he combines that, I'm using my word pipe with that, with write blog, then it takes what he wrote and goes and creates a post, creates an image for him, and then puts it back in his post, and blah, blah, blah.
Exactly. To me, the importance of something like this article, right, is that it demonstrates that actually the differences in what AI produces are huge depending on how you do it, right? You have one extreme of the spectrum is somebody who just fires up Claude Code and says, build me an application, right? And then somebody who actually built the whole system that will build that application.
That was interesting. There was a video I watched last night. I don't have a link to that here, that talked about that very thing and how the difference is. Anyway, going back to this, he's got Fabric. So, this is sort of inception to where I'm using Claude Code to drive Fabric. But Fabric is also using, to me, Fabric is just an agent.
Yeah.
They can do other things. It's a tool, it's an agent, it's all the things. And it goes into commands and blah, blah, blah. MCP servers. Basically, the whole thought is here, except for the real thing, which is what I want to see. So I could see it. But putting it all together, right? Fetch any quote or blog or content going all the way back to 1999 from my website. Right? This makes it possible because then it can piece it all together because all the pieces are there. All the pieces and parts. Newsletter, automation, threshold, blah, blah, whatever. Long post, I highly recommend reading it. Don't get an adult beverage if you're going to read it. Make it through first, and then you can get one.
Get 3 adult beverages because one is not enough.
Yeah. Okay. Claude Code Community Guide. Just a link of cheat sheets.
Oh, nice.
Of just things. Just stuff that isn't documented as well as probably it could be. Like, they don't have the OpenTelemetry thing on here, which would have been really great. But anyway, just another reference tool.
Nice.
So OnLook, this is Cursor for designers. None of us are designers.
No, God no. I'd love to be. I tried a couple of times. Doesn't work.
I think you can now. So this is open source. Now watch this. My mouse is off the window. I'm going to go down into the area. Watch this. It's cool, huh?
Yeah.
So you can create things, do designs.
Okay. So it's kind of For interior designers.
No, it's for people
Agentgateway.
creating websites or whatever,
Okay, got it.
and so much more. You can import from Figma if you're using Figma. Bring your existing React, Next.js, Tailwind code base and start building. Draw on layers. So now, in theory, you could do design.
That's actually very useful for people like me.
Yeah. Why is it open source? They don't explain why. We chose open source to give developers transparency in how we are building OnLook. Okay, OnLook is something they're building, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, but again, here's the failing. It's X for X or X for Y, right?
Yeah.
Cursor for designers.
I just don't understand why it's called cursor for designers.
Well, OnLook is the product name, but
Yeah.
why use cursor? Just AI for designers. Doesn't.
Yeah, exactly. You know, it's similar, like, you remember when ChatGPT appeared and then there was 1,000 different GPT projects, right? Case GPT.
Yeah.
And that sounds silly today, right?
I-
The name.
I know. It was cool then, but now it's like, what?
Yeah. Back then when you thought that GPT is going to be the only AI.
Anyway, so that's OnLook. I need to send that to my daughter. I forgot about that. Anyway, okay, STEM. I am aware of this guy that wrote it. His name is Wes. We lived in the same city. I don't know that we actually ever met in real life, but our tech community was pretty small where I lived before. And he wrote this thing. It's a DSL for writing Claude Code commands. And this just feels like a problem in search of a solution, or a solution in search of a problem. Because let's go here for a second. So ask me a question at a time so we can develop a spec. Remember, only one question at a time. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, whatever.
Okay.
The solution for this is what problem, who are the users, what constraint. So you loop it and then do the things and then here.
But it's looping through Claude Code. Or what is it looping through?
I haven't run it yet.
Yeah.
This is not what we're doing today, by the way.
Yeah.
I'm not convinced that it's like, because you compile it and then you run it. And then you can use it in Claude Code. So I wonder if it's creating...
So kind of that's already out for me. Kind of I want to write it from Claude Code.
Okay, so it's creating Claude commands. Here's the key part that I missed before. So it's creating the commands.
Yeah, prompts.
Yeah.
Cool.
Well,
but from outside Claude, right?
From outside of Claude, correct.
So what I want is Claude to create its own commands.
Yeah.
If you can help me with that, great. But I'm not going out of Claude to create commands.
Yeah, I'm not sure why. Okay, so here's the why. Traditional Markdown is hard to make. So if you're comparing Markdown to STEM, right? So let's be nice. I'm just asking you to be nice. Mm-hmm. So hard to maintain complex logic in traditional Markdown, whereas STEM is clean, readable control flow. I can buy that a little bit, right? That's not a hard argument. Repetitive instructions, reusable variables and loops. Okay, I'm still okay with that. No error checking, type safe compilation. I don't know. Difficult version control versus Git friendly source code. I disagree with that completely because Markdown is a file. It doesn't get much easier than this to me is not a strong argument.
First one, Markdown. There is nothing more readable than Markdown.
Yeah. Manual updates everywhere, single source of truth. But if I'm putting my .claude under source control, it's the single source of truth.
And
there's trade MCP. This is what MCP is for too. So I don't know.
Not convinced. Kind of like, again, the important part is that if you're using Cursor or Claude Code or whatever you're using, you're probably using it to create those commands or prompts or rules or whatever it's called. Help there.
Yeah.
I'm not going to some different editor something to edit some file so that becomes a command later.
Well, to be fair, what I need to do is I need to download and do the quick start, and just to understand what it's doing, because I don't know what's actually being created here.
Yeah.
I don't know how hello stem is being turned into hello MD for the command, which I think is fair, right? It's like,
No.
I wish he would have put in, and I can reach out to him. It was like, he did what, but he didn't do, to me, the real why. Because this grid, to me, is not the why.
No.
I mean, like, what caused you to go down this rabbit hole? That's...
It would be great to actually, if he put some kind of real example of command that he used, the real one, and then decided, no, this is not working for me.
Yeah.
Right? And converted it into Steam.
Correct. That would be nice to see. But it exists.
Yeah.
Because some people like to have a DSL. They don't want to write raw markdown. I don't know why, but if everything could have been marked down all along. Okay. Anyway, mix. Anyway, Wes, I'll reach out to you. Mix. I put this in because probably nobody is going to use it except for Victor and myself. Because a lot of times, sometimes I reach out. Victor, you will agree with me on this. Sometimes I send you things, but most of the time I don't. Early, right? There's certain things I will send you early.
Yeah.
Most things you find out as everybody else is finding out.
Yeah.
This is one of them. It's an open source local agent for multimodal tasks. Basically, it's using FFmpeg. By the way, the new FFmpeg, if you're using that, 8.0 that came out this week, is doing real-time closed captions. Just in case. I think English only, though. Anyway, FFmpeg uses apps like Blender instead of clunky cloud-based editors. Uses F and local app. Okay. Anyway, so when I tried to play this, let me see if it'll play for me today, because I've had issues with this. Network errors. Anyway, it's playing. And plus I'm in Firefox.
Gist of it.
Well, basically what it is you have to get it installed first. And it's a make. Okay, whatever. There's a front end, there's a back end. Agentic coding. So what I'm looking for here is... Where is the picture? There was an explanation of this. Agent uses Claude Sonnet 4. You can authenticate. Gemini AP is required because it analyzes images in Gemini. Okay. Basically, you can explain whatever it is and it'll generate video for you.
Okay.
The way I read it.
Yeah. So kind of local variation of VO3.
Maybe. But so right now you need Blender and Pixelmator and then a multimodal analyzer. But anyway, and it's new. Like you got to build it from source new. But it'll be interesting to see what I said. This I've had problems playing this. I don't understand why I have such a hard time playing this video, which is really annoying. Where is it?
Yeah.
Anyway, we won't go any further than that because we're already running out of time. Cypher is yet another memory MCP.
Okay.
Compatible with you name it, and it's there.
Okay.
So just a new memory.
Nice.
Really almost there. Claude Kit puts in guardrails. Plus save checkpoints. So you can checkpoint as you're going through. Which is interesting. Again, there's much more than that. New release was just 8 hours ago. Here's something if you have an iPhone. Now you can... This was created by two guys that were on the Swift language team. They left Apple and started their own thing. It's only for iOS. You actually are developing the app. You are vibe coding your app actually on the iPhone, and it will submit it off to test flight for you.
Not for me.
Not for you.
No, the reason I have a real difficulty, and this is probably me being old, just to be clear from the start. I have real difficulty even typing more than a single sentence on phone.
Yeah, you don't have to type. You can talk it. You can talk it. Because you're on the iPhone.
Okay,
I know.
talk it. Okay, yeah. Still kind of.
I know. I get it.
That's me being old.
But if you've always wanted to try to do an iOS app, you didn't want to learn Swift, and all I know is Objective-C, so it looks interesting. Anyway, I saw that. Your video this week was on prompt magic.
Yeah.
Your pictures keep on getting stranger and stranger.
My what?
The pictures that get generated of you are getting stranger and stranger.
Yeah. What can you do?
Use mix.
I mean, it's still kind of. I had a couple of wrong ones, but it's still at least look and feel and fonts are recognizable. Yeah, it's about prompts basically. The gist of it is, don't blame AI for doing the wrong thing. It's all about context, and in the context of this context, I was talking about prompts, using prompts to provide the right context.
Context. Speaking of context, here's the demo. We're finally here after 46 minutes. Good grief. Claude Code PM. This is a project that was open sourced by a company called Automaze. Automaze.io. A Claude Code workflow to ship faster, better using spec-driven development. See, remember you were doing design. What were you doing? You weren't doing design driven. What was it? What was the DDD that you were doing?
Documentation-driven development.
There you go. Okay. GitHub issues, Git work trees, and multiple AI agents running in parallel. Stop losing context, stop blocking on tasks, stop shipping bugs. Blah, blah. Okay. So unlike Wes's a solution in search of a problem, this is a problem, but I don't believe it's a problem that everyone has.
Okay.
And here's why I'm going to say that. There is a place for true vibe coding, which means just give me an eBay clone. Okay, maybe not that far, but a little bit more, right? Just something to quick interaction. I need a quick little tool of something.
Yeah.
Do you need specs for that? At the very beginning, maybe not. But you're going to quickly realize, oh, you know what? Now I need to. It's like I need to get a proof of concept running as quickly as I can, just to get something.
Yeah.
And then if it's real, I'll go back and do specs to build the real thing.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, it also depends on. Yeah. Depends when do you put specs. It can be at the very beginning, it can be later on. So it depends whether you want to try one-shot something or iterate.
Right. And thank you for saying one shot, because that was the phrase I was not remembering. So while you were talking, I reshared this. So this is a very long thing. So the way you set this up is sort of a pain in the butt, to be polite. So I need to do something here real quick while we're talking. So I'm going to grab my GitHub CLI, and I'm going to go here because I haven't actually cloned this yet. Okay, so I've got it. So let me go back. So I've got a project that I'm wanting to do called Podcast Scheduler. That's a bad name. That's not really what I want, but it's okay to get started. I basically need better ways to manage getting guests on and scheduling things and setting dates, because what I'll have to do is I'll get somebody scheduled. They need to reschedule. So then I have to move blocks around, because I basically do a first in, first out for the podcast recording. So somebody records, they're going to get, so if somebody records in the morning and somebody records in the afternoon, the morning person will get released before the afternoon person, just because. It's just, plus it helps me plan the calendar a little bit better. By the way, if you're wanting to be on the podcast, or if you're a PR person wanting somebody on the podcast, I'm just going to let you know we're already scheduling for release dates of September of 2026. And I'm already scheduling out until January of 27. Not January 27th of next year, January of 2027. Yes,
Sorry,
it
we
is
don't know
August
whether we'll be
29th.
alive by that time.
But we're scheduling for it. We're planning
There you
as
go.
if we're going to be there. I'm doing my best. Anyway, so what you have to do, and unfortunately, if anybody from Automaze is watching this or you see this afterwards, I appreciate the table of contents. I appreciate all this stuff. Please put the quick start at the very top, because the quick start for this is get started now is at the very bottom.
Oh man.
And you actually have to pay attention to do that. So what I have my podcast scheduler repo. Now, in this repo, all I've got is a README. That's it. And just to prove it out, you can see there's just a README. I've not done anything else, because if you're doing spec-driven development, much like test-driven development, you're going to write those things first prior to writing anything else. But that also means you're setting up the repository in a certain way before doing anything else.
Yeah.
So this repository wants to be the first thing in your repository. Not the very first thing, but close.
When you say this repo, like a clone of this repo.
The contents of this repo. So what's in this repo? So, excuse me. What you have to do is you have to install it. So you're supposed to CD to your project, and then you're supposed to, they changed it since earlier this week. Oh, that's nice. So I'm actually going to follow their instructions, because this was not what it was 3 days ago. Let's see if it actually works. Because I had to clone it before, and then I had to copy the files over into my project. Okay. Which wasn't bad. Right? It sort of made sense, but I guess people whined about it enough to do that. So, and I'm still using iTerm on this machine, no wonder. So I'm going to do this, and yes, I'm going to do it blind, because I know what should be there, so I can confirm it. Not found. Okay, great. So what I'm going to do is, I wonder why it's 404ing there.
Did you copy everything?
Well, I did. Anyway, here, I can do this. So I'm going to copy CC something, yep. Because what's in there is, good grief. If we look inside of this, there's actually a .claude directory. And remember we talked about AgentsMD last week? Well, there's an AgentsMD in this directory. So I'm going to move the .claude directory over to my podcast something to .claude.
Okay.
I shouldn't have moved it. That's fine. I don't care. Because once you do it once, that should be it. Because I don't think they've done any... Start history, add Claude MD to get ignore. Oh, okay, whatever. Okay.
Does this make you want it to be MCP prompts in MCP?
Which, by the way, this is... How's it licensed? It's MIT. I could turn it into an MCP server. Easy enough. So if I go back into here now, if we take a look inside the directory, and then if I really take a look inside the Claude directory, what we're going to see here is a bunch of scripts, rules, PRDs, blah, 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 blah. Okay. So I'm going to follow the instructions the rest of the way here. So I'm going to go here to get started now. I got everything over there. Let's look at the full instructions here. So you're supposed to do that, one-liners. Oh, that doesn't help me any. Oh, I could have done that. Forget it. That's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to rmrf.claude. Since that bash didn't work, this makes sense, right? Just remove the git command. Or excuse me, the git directory. So we do this. And is not an empty directory. Oh, bite me.
What you just heard, listeners, is as much swearing as you will ever hear.
Yeah, pretty much. All right, so here. If you ever hear me say "bite me," then things have gone really, 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 really bad.
Yeah, that's equivalent to me mentioning F word 3 times and a bunch of others.
So it's interesting. So I moved it. It doesn't see that it's gone. Get status. Really? Oh, okay. So get reset head. My foo is not strong today. How do I reset the, what's the get reset command? We have 5 minutes. We're going to go over just a little bit today. Do you have a minute or do you have somewhere else to be?
No, it's all good.
Okay. So at least want to get this going here so you can see what's hard. That's it. Head. There it is. Okay. So I'm going to go back. I'm going to say copy -r Claude to. I'll have to deal with the other thing first. Okay. Okay. Yep. That's all there. Okay. So let's go back to here. Now you're supposed to do a PM init to initialize the PM system. Okay. Remember, this is where we're at right now. We have a .git directory and a .claude directory, and I deleted my git reset hard. Let me get my readme back there. Okay, so everything's back to where it should be. I'm going to say Claude. And let's see. Do you trust the files in this folder? Yes. Then my let's PM init. Because remember, I've not done anything yet. There's nothing here yet. This takes it for a few minutes. Or takes it. I remember because I ran this before. I haven't committed anything yet, but it was testing on another machine. So it runs some scripts, and then once it gets finished running here, I'm actually going to open. So it did all these things. Okay, great. Task, initialized all that. So it was making sure it uses GH because it's going to interact with, over time what it's going to do is it's actually going to create issues for the agents to go and do the work on. That's what it does. So if we were to take a look now at this directory, it still looks the same. What is the switch for tree to show the whole thing, even the hiddens? Do you remember?
No idea.
Okay, we'll do this. I meant to look that up and I forgot to. Tree. Tree list hidden files as well. That is tree A. Okay, so tree-A. If I can spell today. There we go. There we go. Okay. So there's get rid of the git stuff. So here are all the, there's the .claude, there's PM. So it created, what did it create? Oh, it just initialized things. Okay, that's fine. So let's actually teach it to do something here. So I want to create my first PRD. This did not exist the other day either. This getting started part didn't exist. So if I say PM PRD new, and what's my feature name? Give me a feature name.
I don't know. It's your project, Darren.
I don't know. What would you want?
What is it? Is it? We said for managing.
Yeah. So I'm gonna call it
calendar.
Guest management. Let's call it guest management.
There we go.
Or episode management. Episode, because that's better. Because sometimes it's just me and you.
Yeah.
Okay. For episode minute, let me start with the pre-flight checks and then conduct through. Okay. So when I ran this over on my other machine, because I basically gave it the same thing of podcast, I think podcast scheduler or whatever. It actually went through and it's like, oh, I see you're doing a podcast. Here's things you might want to think about for podcast.
Because that README, the only file you have that
is the README.
It has.
And there's nothing in it.
Of what the project? Nothing
no,
in it. Okay.
Just the title. So so just to put it in context. If I cat the README, which was the only file to start with, that's all it says. Podcast scheduler. That's it. Mm-hmm. But now look and see what this did. Perfect. All pre-flight. Okay, here we go. Discovery. I can see this is a podcast scheduler project. Let me ask some key questions. What specific episode management challenges are you facing with the current system? Are you looking to manage podcasts across multiple issues or just one? What's the workflow bottleneck? So it's asking me all of these questions.
Nice. That's one of the pitfalls many fall into, right? Kind of.
Right.
If you just told that to Claude Code, it would probably start doing it immediately.
Correct. Right. Which is why you want to go into plan or tell it, please don't write code, right? Your first line is don't write code, and your last line is, remember, I told you don't write code.
Now, the beef I have with solutions like this is that, and this is probably doesn't apply to other people, but ask me one question at a time.
Yes.
My brain cannot digest this.
It's like, okay.
You can probably tell Claude now to kind of.
That's what I'm going to say.
Okay,
thanks for giving me all these questions. Walk me through each of the questions one by one, because it is too hard to answer all in one shot. Right? That seems reasonable. And I can actually size my window up here a bit. Okay. Absolutely. Let's take it step by step. I'll walk you through each question one at a time. Let's start with understanding what system are you currently managing episodes manually? Just focus on the first question. Okay, hang on. Okay. Hang on a second. One moment, please. Watch this. Okay, hang on. Oh, come on. That should have worked. Okay, hang on. I only want one question at a time. Try again. What do you think about that? Okay, this is going to get hard really fast.
They're not good at those things. Models in general.
Well, the problem with keyboard is there's a quick switch to turn it on. There's no quick switch to turn it off. Okay, I turned it off now, so it doesn't work. Yeah, I was doing dictation the other day. I was like, okay, what specific episode are you facing with the current system? When I have to reschedule someone, I have to change a lot of metadata, episode number, dates, etc. I just want to make that easier. What else do you need to know? Just one podcast. It would be for producers. I'm also the producer my show. What stages? Scheduled, recorded, edited, published. That's close enough. Those are close enough. So it's this kind of thing. This is, okay, I'm going to go back to you for just a second. This is what you mean about sitting down and having a conversation.
Yes.
Right? And it just feels like you're not getting anywhere. But what I've learned is the more time I spend on this, the chances of me getting a more correct to me solution is much higher. Much higher.
You want that PRD or whatever it's called to be closer to 100%. It will never be 100%. Okay?
Yeah.
Because simply you don't know 100% in advance. But the closer you get, the better, right? Now, the project I'm working on, I have a similar situation where somebody would say, hey, I want a database. And the goal is, okay, you will get database, right? But in my case, it's an MCP with a agent baked in. And then it would be coming back to you, kind of, okay, answer those questions, right? Or do this, do that, right? Kind of, it would be the whole, think of it like professional services or consulting. Okay, but can you tell me more about this? Can you, until it squeezes all the information out of you. The major difference I feel between what I'm doing and what you're trying on right now is that, in my case, that MCP is instructed to come back with one thing at a time. It could be multiple questions, but one thing at a time. Okay, let's nail this down. And that will lead us to the next one, to the next one, to the next one, right?
Right. I'm bringing you back here. Whoops. That's not what I wanted. So anyway, we're not going to go through this whole thing. Where I think this comes into play well is if you are the product... I'm going to use the word designer. If you're the product owner, if you're the one creating the product, this is you working alone. This is the old business analyst sitting down with a blank Word document.
Yeah.
That's because you may not you tip in that scenario. You typically did not, especially early on, did not collaborate with other people other than, hey, come look over my shoulder real quick. You weren't working in the same document at the same time. That's what I'm trying to say. We won't go any further. I'm sorry, I stepped over you.
Oh, go for it.
So anyway, I mean, this could take hours. So we're not going to go through it. But what's interesting to me about this is they have added in so many commands. Like all these PM, it does epics. You can do epic one shot. You can do a refresh. You can show the epics. You can start the epics. It's the whole management of the whole thing, which is interesting because at the end of the day, there's stuff local, but really once it's pretty solid, it creates the GitHub issues for you. Unfortunately, it's GitHub only. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that, but right now that means GitLab's out.
It's open source. You can create a PR.
Jira's out. Yeah.
And since basically everything are, I'm guessing, just prompts, right?
Mm-hmm.
It should be fairly easy for you or anybody else to create a copy of that GitHub issue prompt, whatever it is. And
correct. So if we were to take a look at this, and we'll wrap up here in just a minute. I know we're going super long, but I wanted to at least show this because if you're trying to figure out what to do, and I know this is really small. There we go. If we take a look at the commands that it created for us, all these ones under PM, which is so when I did a PM init, it ran this command. It said run bash, blah, 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 using a subagent and show me the complete output.
Yeah.
Right. So then I could try, it's like, oh, Claude scripts. Where's the scripts? Okay, great. So what did it actually do? PM init. It did all of that for me. Right?
That's really good. Most of the time, people would put all the instructions inside of a prompt.
Right.
Where even though many of those instructions do not require any intelligence, right?
Right.
So combining it with scripts, okay, execute this. It would be pointless for this prompt to say, okay, now do this with get and do with this with that and so on and so forth. If it's repeatable, scriptable, what's not?
Make it a script. If it can be, make it so. So if I look at Epic one shot, decompose the Epic into tasks and sync to GitHub in one operation. Right. So that's what it's going to do. So if we look here, it's going to test, and it also accepts arguments, which that's actually part of Claude Code in accepting arguments. Execute I'm saying, even if you're not using this, reading what these things are will help you in your prompt construction, I think.
Yeah.
That's the key part there.
Yeah.
That even if you had Claude Code write the prompt for you, it's going to get you. Plus, the usages of these stupid emojis. I still don't understand, but supposedly it's a thing that matters. And it just takes you through all the different things. So again, it's working. So that's not context. That was the general one anyway. But anyway, there's lots of little scripts that it'll just check statuses and whatever. So it's a combination of prompts, fairly basic prompts. I mean, I say basic. They're big, but they're not huge.
Yeah.
And
some scripts. Nice.
Yeah, and some scripts. So that sort of, pulls the curtain back a little bit on what it actually is. Now, PRDs. So there's a couple of directories that are created. PRDs is one of them. Epics is another one. So you can see there's just git keep. So when this was bootstrapped, it created those directories for us. Agents. There's some agents that I think. I don't know are these the ones that are in there by default? I can't remember. Or sub-agent, because anything that's an agent is a sub-agent, not to be confused with other things. Anything else to look at? I'm sorry, like I said, this could spend days, literally days, to go through something like this and understand. What is this one? This is my Claude MD test runner. I don't remember. Anyway, there's just so much. I wish we could have gone further on that. It was like, great, we're going to have a good long day to go through this. And it's like, nope, not today. So anyway, it gets me thinking, and thank you for the tip on, it gives me 15 different questions. It's like, no, just give me each question one by one, please.
Yeah.
That should be the default. It's like, or...
You should ask you kind of like, are you younger than 40? If you are, here is 50 questions.
Yeah. If you're older than 40, here's one by one. And in fact, I'll give it to you slowly.
Exactly.
Okay. Well, thanks everybody for hanging out. So that demo at the end wasn't as cool as I thought it was going to be, but yeah, it gives you an option. Again, links for everything are already down in the description. And to reiterate, we are gone for the next 3 weeks. We should be back on September 28th, I believe is the 4th Friday in September, if I remember the math right. Whatever that last Friday is. And I'm sure there's going to be plenty to talk about by then. Anything else, Victor? I'm going to go through all the other things because we're... Okay. Well, thanks, everybody. Hopefully you learned a little bit today. I know I did. Please ask me a question one at a time. Just one at a time, please. I should have said, hey, by the way, I'm almost 60. Can you make it easier? Talk to me like I'm a 60-year-old. Oh, wait. We have to go back. I'm sorry. We have to go back here for a second. Because that one's too good. Let's see. I'm almost... This is going to be too funny. I'm almost 60. Can you ask the question in a simpler way? Let's just see.
So we can invent a new What did it say? I don't see.
Do you use any calendar apps or podcast websites that this should connect to?
There you go.
Well, because the question is, do you need integration with any external platforms or systems?
So
That's actually a good question, because
we
I have
can
to
do
go.
a new thing. We can come up with age-appropriate agents.
That's actually not a bad idea.
There you go. There is agent for my mom. There is agent for me. There is agent for my daughter.
That's funny. All right. Well, anyway, we tried, and pretty much everybody has left. So, for the people that hung out till the end, thank you. We'll see you back in a few weeks, and until then, have a great rest of August and a good part of September. We'll see you back at the end of September.
Cheers.